Welcome back to the Becoming Equal project. We hope you enjoyed the previous episode and are ready to continue learning. In this episode, we will be diving deeper into gender identity. Let's get to it. This season, we'll be discussing gender identity, meaning how each person sees their own gender and believes their own gender to be. This may or may not be the same as the gender you were assigned with at birth, like we learned last season. Let's break down the terminology for this episode. Non-binary, an identity for those who don't neatly fit into the categories of man, woman, or male and female. People whose gender is not male or female use many different terms to describe themselves. Other terms include genderqueer, agender, bigender, and so much more. None of these terms mean exactly the same thing, but all speak to an experience of gender that is not simply male or female. Gender fluid, a gender identity best described as a dynamic mix of boy and girl. A gender fluid individual may feel more man some days and more woman other days. A gender fluid individual's gender identity could be multiple genders at once and then switch to none at all, or move between single gender identities or some other combination therein. Gender nonconforming, a person with no or very little connection to the traditional system of gender, no personal alignment with the concepts of either man or woman, or someone who sees himself as existing without a gender. Sometimes called gender neutral, agender, or genderless. Let me give you some facts. Some, but not all, non-binary or gender non-conforming people undergo medical procedures to make their bodies more harmonious with their gender identity. While not all non-binary people need medical care to live a fulfilling life, it's critical and even life-saving for so many. Most transgender people are not non-binary. While some transgender people are non-binary, most transgender people have a gender identity that is either male or female and should be treated like any other man or woman. Being non-binary is not the same as intersex. Like we learned in season 1, intersex people have anatomy or genes that don't fit typical definitions of male or female. Most intersex people identify as either men or women. Non-binary people are ordinarily not intersex. They're usually born with bodies that may fit typical definitions of male and female, but their innate gender identity is something other than male or female. Individuals who identify as non-binary, gender fluid, or gender non-conforming might not use the pronouns he, him, or she, her, but they would prefer if others use different pronouns when referring to them. Some other pronouns are sie, here, sie, zer, sie, them, and sie, zim, and they, them, a pronoun which has actually been around since Shakespearean times. There are more gender identities under the trans umbrella, such as bigender, third gender, androgynous, and agender, and I encourage you to look them up and do your own research. Like we learned in previous episodes, sometimes your gender identity doesn't match your sex assigned at birth. One's gender identity journey is unique to each person, and there's no timeline of when you need to know and when you need to personally come out. There's always a community that is here to support you on your journey and provide resources to help you. If you think you need to talk to someone, please reach out to someone close to you or someone you trust. We hope this episode was informative and gave you some more insight on the topic of gender identity. In the next few episodes, we will be discussing Season 3's topic of gender expression. We'll see you then. Bye.